Hi guys, lovely to see you. I'm slightly late today. Sorry about that. But hey ho, I'm here. And we are going to have a very exciting message today. A very exciting live today. So I'm going to bring this in. Wish I had my clock in front of me. Going to bring this in 20 minutes, 25 absolute tops. Absolute tops. Just because I've got something I've got to go off and do straight afterwards. Hey, lovely to see you there. Lovely to see you there. Just jiggering around with this, just so that you don't have to see, half of this room. Great to see you there. So I had in mind something I was going to do today, and I've just changed my mind this morning. Just changed my mind this morning. Yes, it's all to do with your September breakthrough. Yes, it's also going to, support you in your success in business, attracting clients, or if you're in an organization, whatever it happens to be, absolutely going to help you with that. So let's all just take a lovely breath in while we gather. Let's take a beautiful breath in, beautiful breath out. Isn't that gorgeous? Just letting go of everything that's been going on for you this morning, today, already, or wherever you happen to be, or whatever time it happens to be when you're watching this. So I'm going to start with a story, but this story has a point to it. What our theme is today is actually the reality in front of you, the life in front of you, and how you can you see Milo, my cat, just behind me? He loves to sit in the window and he keeps an eye on everything going on outside and everyone. He guards the house, the territory. So this is to do with you creating your reality. How much control you really have. And it's especially relevant in these times of, shall we say, perceived restrictions, when we've been bombarded with this damn message of what we can do and what we can't do. Well, to heck with that. That's what I say. To heck with that. Because I know that the most important thing in factoring your future is your perception of what's possible. I'm going to say that again. I know that the most important thing in factoring your future, the most important factor, is your perception of what's possible, right? So that's what I want to share with you today. But let me first tell you about a client that I had years ago, right? Her family are... Now, I'm not going to tell you about her family. I'm going to tell you about what happened to her when she was growing up. Then I'll tell you about her family and what she's doing now. So when she was growing up, she told me how, she was a daddy's girl. She loved her daddy. Her daddy died when he was quite young. I think she would have been maybe 16 or 17 when he died, which is very sad. She grew up in Scotland, very humble beginnings. And her dad used to say to her at night, he would read her story and he would say, "Good night, my darling." And he would say, "You're going to live in a castle someday. Never forget that. You're going to live in a castle." Now, bear in mind that this is a very humble house situation that they're in. Okay? So think about it. In Scotland, a castle would be like the ultimate, that would be like the fairy tale from rags to riches. Obviously, if it was New York, it wouldn't be a castle, it would be something else, right? Be an apartment on Fifth Avenue or something. So I just want to say that to you. And then when she came to me as a client some years ago, she is part of one of the wealthiest families in the country. So in the Sunday Times Rich list, they're always listed as like right up there. And she said to me, but here's the interesting thing. I got invited to her daughter's wedding in Scotland, and I went. And guess what it was? It was a castle. Her life had turned out exactly as her dad had spoken to her, right? So yes, there was the castle in Scotland, there was the flat in Knightsbridge. Now she lives in the US. So the point of that story is this. I believe that the real restriction could be in our imagination, in what we perceive as being possible, right? What we perceive as being realistic. So in a way, what her dad did in that moment was he was prophesying, right? He was laying out a prophecy for her future, as to what could be possible. In other words, all of that could be yours, my darling. I'm sharing this with you today because it's uppermost in my mind. Because I had a dream 2 nights ago. I didn't talk about it until now because I just wanted to let it settle and I just wanted to enjoy it and just be with it. So that dream, I woke up from that dream and I had the detail. I felt like I'd been shown something. I felt like I had been shown a possibility, a possible outcome in my life. And it's an outcome that I'd been considering for some time, a change, something in my life that I've been contemplating to change, an addition, if you like. But I woke up from the dream and I felt like I'd been shown in detail what that could look like, what that could feel like if I did bring that in, if I did allow that, if I did invite that into my reality. Is this making sense, guys? I had been shown it in absolute detail. And most importantly, I had the feeling of what it could feel like to have that outcome in my life, right? Because I guess up until that dream, I wasn't actually convinced. I wasn't sure. I really wanted to commit to have that in my life. I was like on the fence a little bit. And here's the thing. You and I, we live with free will. So even after having that dream, I still knew I had a choice to make. Having had that experience, I still had a choice to make. So it's not like, you know, it's written in stone and we don't have a say in it. No, we get to choose. So I knew after that dream that I still get to choose. But I was getting to choose knowing what it could feel like to have that outcome. So I came away choosing that outcome. Now here's the thing. If you want to choose and create a different outcome, a bigger outcome in your life, there's 3 things that will help for you to bring that about. First of all, is this making sense, guys? Yes or no? And this is all to do with creating a bigger breakthrough in your life. So the first thing is, number 1, you allow for the possibility of the outcome, okay? So I just said we all have free will. We do. We have choice and we have free will, which means you get to decide. You get to decide first and foremost whether you want to allow for the possibility of that outcome. See, sometimes we can go, oh, I really want that. But actually, when we check in with ourselves, when you check in with yourself, do you really want it? Or is there a layer, an element of resistance within you that actually is keeping that outcome at a distance? Make sense? So you get to really consider that and come to a decision. And that decision, if it's to be so, comes from you. It's you going, yes, yes. I'm allowing for that possibility, for that outcome, through and through, 100%, right? No hesitation, no resistance. You're all in. Sorry, I'm just fixing my pods. The second step is to anticipate. You get to anticipate that outcome arriving in your life. And that means that you get to feel the feeling of how it would be when the outcome materializes in physical form, right? You get to feel the joy, you get to feel the excitement, you get to feel enthusiastic about that addition coming into your life. So this is a real, it's interesting because this is like a real key in all spiritual texts and all manifestation procedures, if you like. So we're tapping into the metaphysical here, let's be clear. We're tapping into the metaphysical. So act, believe, and you shall receive. Faith, the power of faith, right? So you get to anticipate and feel that feeling. Now, here's the thing that's also really important, I believe. You get to commit to action that will support that feeling, that will support you having that feeling before you've actually received it in the physical form, in the absence of having received it in the physical form. Because let's be honest, there's a bit of a gap. And I think what happens in that gap determines your outcome, right? So the gap is you allowing, anticipating, feeling the feeling, raising your vibration, if you like, to feel that excitement and joy as though you've already received it. But the truth is there is nonetheless a gap, right? And the gap is, okay, you're here, but the physical outcome hasn't actually arrived yet. What happens in that gap is crucial. So here's what I think could help. I think that what could help is that you get to commit to supporting that feeling, that frequency, supporting that allowing, supporting that anticipation through action, Because look, if you go back to life as it was before this commitment, this clarity, if you like, then your frequency could drop so easily. So I got this clarity on Monday morning after the dream. I got this absolute clarity that if I really was up for it, if I really wanted to usher in, allow in that change in my life, it requires a commitment on my part. It requires me to do something different. So it requires you to do something different. You get to look at that feeling and you get to look at how you can support, enhance, cultivate that feeling within you and in your life through changes that you may need to make in your day-to-day life. So that could be you looking at experiences and actions and activities that will support, allow that feeling to bubble forth, right? You get to look at taking specific actions that really demonstrate you are looking for change, you're up for change, and it's a yes to change from you. So allow, anticipate, action. Whatever that particular outcome is, whatever that particular breakthrough is that you would like to usher in to your life now. And here's, one of the advantages of this, if you are in business, one of the advantages is that you get to be a person who embodies joy, enthusiasm, and aliveness. Now, whatever you do, whatever your business is, whether you're in business or whether you work in a business, think about how that feels for people around you. Don't you think they want the same? Don't you think that they want more aliveness, joy, and enthusiasm? Don't you think that they're going to want to be around you so that some of that good feeling rubs off? You bet. And if you're working closely with clients, what they really want from you is that feeling. is that feeling, first and foremost. Because if you are someone who to some degree is not living fully, has dumbed down, has settled, it's very hard for people to feel a spark of greater possibility from you. Because you can't give people, you can't incite in people what you have not going for you, what's not already within you. So darlings, I hope this is making sense. I'm just gonna see who's there and your comments, and then I've got to go dash and get ready for something. Caroline, Alan, lovely to see you. Austin, lovely to see you. Alison, lovely to see you. Dawn, Kerry, terrific. Is this making sense, guys? I invite you not to take anything that I say at face value, seriously. I invite you, if you'd like to try it for yourself. Just to try it for yourself. And see how it works for you, right? I'd love to know, by the way, so feel free to try this. Come back, let me know. Deborah, lovely to see you there. So, yeah, and Deborah, I know you're familiar with this process already. It's just, you know, we get to try this stuff, right? We get to try this stuff. I just know that so much of what shows up in our life, so much of what shows up in our life starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with you. Allowing for the possibility. Allowing for the possibility. So why don't you just allow, in the first instance, for some greater possibilities for you, whatever they happen to be. Possibilities that would expand your life. Bring more excitement, more enthusiasm, right? And I think it's so important for us to snap our fingers and wake up out of the doldrums that we have, to some extent, been living under in this time of emergency, you know, in this time of crisis that has been spoken of and that's been going on across the world. I mean, we're living in very extraordinary times, guys. Very extraordinary times, okay? So I think there's a great opportunity and a great onus on us as individuals to actually determine our level of aliveness. And this is one way, it's a great way to do it. It's a great way to wake up and start thinking about what we would like to cultivate, what we would like to create, what we would like to bring into our life. Because guys, life is short. I mean, life is short. It's short, okay? I know we're all eternal beings and really, you know, life is eternal, but this particular experience, this particular lifetime is quite short once you get to a certain point. And Lord knows, maybe you're at that point where possibly there's more years behind than in front. So joy, aliveness, enthusiasm, excitement. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. All right, my darlings, I'll be here tomorrow. Same time, same place. And let me know how this is landing for you. This is making sense. All right, my darlings, have an amazing day. Lots of love to you. Take care. Bye.